One of the greatest things this year has been working with Mark Savella and Shannon and Jeff in the visual effects department. Usually you go and you're like, I'd love to be able to do something like this, and a visual effects supervisor will be like, no, impossible, can't. It's, we can do this or we can do that. Whereas you come in and say, Mark, I'd really like to do this, and he's like, okay. He is kind of like a can-do Eeyore, but it's not negative or pessimistic. It's like, we'll get it done, and they always do.
Mark Savella is an awesome person to work for. Not only is actually a great guy and we've become good friends, but I admire him. His attention to detail is amazing. He doesn't settle for anything that's middle of the road. He always wants the best, and I think he pushes the artists to do their best.
With season 3 of our show of Atlantis this year, I get a lot of calls from the writers and whatnot who ask me, what do you think if we do this? I like to feel like I'm always up for the challenge, and I'm not saying, no to them. I don't think we can do that. I just, right away, it's trying to figure out how we can do it and how we can make it like the coolest thing that we've seen on TV. In the visual effects department for Stargate Atlantis, we have basically 4 people. There's myself, the visual effects supervisor, Shannon Gurney, John McPherson, who is our main on-set person, and Sonia Gilmore, who's also coordinator as well.
Well, I'd say the top creative position in our department would be definitely Mark Savella. Once we've been on set and shot the plates, Mark sort of takes it and has lots of great ideas and will sit with the artists and say, okay, well, if we do this approach, how's that going to work? And he does that because everyone likes working with him. He's fun to talk to and to deal with, but they also want to please him and make sure, that he's happy with the effects that are coming out. He's a stickler.
We also have an in-house visual effects department which does a lot of the shots on our show. It's comprised of about seven artists who do quite a bit of the work. This is our in-house visual effects department for both Stargate Atlantis and Stargate SG1. They work on multiple episodes throughout the year. For the schedule of working, episode after episode, we try and stagger it out. We do have a number of vendors throughout the city, so with our in-house department, we try and, have them have meteor shows and stagger it out throughout SG1 and Atlantis so they get a nice big bulk of work on certain episodes. These are our compositing stations and our compositors, and we'll get to these guys later because they're kind of the last in line of the process. And here we're into our 3D station as well, with Jamie and Michael.
Hello.
Hello. Now these guys are creating the animatics for the shots in the show, the 3D shots. James Tishner and myself in season 2, and Michelle Commons, the supervisor on SG1. James went up with the plan to start an in-house department, and Christopher was our first hire. And then we went through the process of, finding the incredible talent that we have all of last season and this season as well.
Every visual effects company needs some horsepower. And what we have is a small room in the basement full of equipment. The studio built the room for us, specially, and insulated it, and locked it up securely so all our equipment is stored in here. But what this is a small render farm, about 5.5 terabytes of hard drive storage space, about 4 terabytes of tape backup, and that's your modern visual effects facility in a stack.
Over the last 10 years, the technology has changed a great deal. The biggest thing that has changed over the last 10 years, I think, is the speed, the processing speed. Another thing that's changed a lot in terms of doing a series like we do is the feedback that we get. Before, 10 years ago, we were shipping VHSs over FedEx and across the city. Now it's You can put shots up on FTP sites, download them right away, and get feedback a lot quicker. I feel like you don't have to settle as much. Plus, we have instant feedback like just across the lot to Brad Wright, Robert Cooper, all the producers, directors. They can walk on set, to look at a shot, see how shots are progressing. It's very convenient. What I really like is, putting live action plates into, say, windows or something like that, like Progeny, where we had the giant pullout from our team looking out the tunnel window, and we revealed the big city. When we pulled out from Shepard's F-302, attached onto the hive ship in No Man's Land.
We did this great shot in the beginning of the year, No Man's Land, where Shepard's sitting in a cockpit in his F-302, and it's attached to the hive ship. And we did this really great camera move, dolly back, and to reveal basically how small Shepard is in relation to this huge spaceship.
The difference between doing a shot with incorporating live action footage to a complete 100% CG shot, it's a little tougher and a little time consuming to shoot on set, and it takes a little more prep to get the camera where you want it, but the payoff is amazing.
It's pretty exciting as an artist when you're given real footage to work with. Most of the time you don't have that, and you're like working on a shot and you want to push close to the front of a ship as it's going by, or lots of different scenarios where you want to see something inside, you want to see some life. Yeah, basically they just shot a plate on set, and so we took that as a reference point along with the camera information and mocked out an animatic version. Now what we've done basically is just really rough everything in, just to get a rough placement, rough blocking, and just a general idea of what the shot's going to look like and how it's going to feel. And then we proceed to the next stage, which is actually taking the models and making sure that they're nice and pretty.
I like to do it a lot because it really does tie it in nicely and really, gives it not an entire 3D effect to it. There's so much more real when you have live action actors in a 3D environment. Without it, it can feel a little video gamey. With it, people actually see, oh, there's actors moving in a 3D environment, and I think it really works well. I love to do it. The scene with Rodney looking through the window and the piece of debris coming in and hitting the window, starting the cracks. That was a lot was set up, with Martin Wood and myself. We had discussed that shot a lot. We had discussed, how it was going to go back and forth, what the actions were, what the beats were.
I'll shoot it from out there.
Okay.
From outside the window. The glass all comes toward us, and then he goes up. We have a couple other things that get jerked out the window, right? And that's it.
And then you do the spidery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're doing that from reverse
and from this side. But what I really like to do is just do this and then see. So he's like, oh my God, because he's looking right at us, right? So the debris coming is over the shoulder. But then I also thought it'd be kind of cool to actually have the thing hit in front of him. And then it goes like this, and then it's, I'm dead, I'm so dead. Because it just goes in front
looking
of
right at him.
Yeah,
that's the shot we talked about.
Right? Yeah. So one shot back from there, looking as the glass goes that way.
Once that meeting's done, I go back to the office and create a tech memo. And that's where I outline each shot and let the production know what we're going to need for that shot.
Basically, when it came down to shooting it on set, David Hewlett took over.
Crack! Crack, crack!
I think it goes in stages like, and so it's not
It
moving.
doesn't have a continuous feel to it.
Like the first one has a tiny pinprick, because then we can really sell it with sound.
Right.
Because it'll be cracking and it's venting, and that's what he's reacting to.
And we're blowing out towards camera.
Towards camera.
Like David Hewlett's looking out a window at basically nothing. And he's reacting to that. And that's, totally what made that scene. Our reactions to his acting is what kind of played it out. And the scene worked so well because of David's actions.
I'm alive. I'm dead. I'm so dead.
And I think the visual effects helped that and really made it real. And so it's the two combined that really make like stunning shots.
The control room window's just been hit by a piece of debris from the explosion. It's about to breach.
Okay.
Can't talk now!
Well, anytime you get a challenging shot, there's mixed emotions. For one, you get excited because it's something new. That's the exciting part of talking it out and trying to figure out what's the best way to do it. And then, of course, it's always scary because, you look at this shot, in your head you're thinking, okay, this is going to be a lot of money and time. I don't know if we have the time to do this, because with episodic television, our deadlines are really quick. And it's not like we're only working on that one shot. We've got 100 others, going at the same time.
Season 3 for me has just been excitement and an adventure from the get-go. We started off with No Man's Land, which was really, really exciting because we got to go back to Allies and extend the dogfight scene from the season ender in season 2. Satita was a great show to work with Robert Cooper on. That episode is just massive, everything. So the effects don't take over and they kind of, they meld perfectly within the story, I think. Progeny was another great show where Andy Makita directed. We had to shoot motion control, which is a repeatable camera system for moves. And we had to shoot it over different sets, over different days. So we would shoot one pass on the actual physical set, one pass on a green screen set 2 or 3 days later. And the actors, like Tori was just great to repeat her performance, her timing, everything else 2 days later was really quite something. McKay and Mrs. Miller was a twinning show that we did where we twinned Rodney.
The original plan was to have a great photo double, so that lots of the overs, we could actually use a photo double instead of making an effect shot. And the double didn't work out so well. So the majority of the shots that they planned to shoot practically ended up becoming visual effects shots. Wow. And so that was, a big challenge because, we budgeted, say, for 20 shots, and all of a sudden we've got 40 in the cut.
And again, David Hewlett just did such a wonderful job, and I think we drove him crazy because he had these big long takes where the camera was moving. He had to hit a certain mark, like inches, not look down at his feet, keep looking ahead, and come together and start talking to himself. And he did a fantastic job. And I think that show really paid off because it doesn't look like your average twinning episode that you would see on TV. It really feels like the two characters are there. In Submersion, we shot a scene where Ronan fires a blast at a Wraith Queen and misses and knocks out the front window of the puddle jumper. What we did was shoot our live action plates in the puddle jumper, and then our special effects supervisor, Ray Douglas, set up a dunk tank of water with 1,500 gallons of water that we poured through one of our puddle jumpers. It looks, spectacular. In First Strike, we have a shot that is a minute long, probably the longest shot that the Stargate world has ever done. Martin Jarrow wrote it and called me about it and said, what do you feel? How do you think if we do a minute-long shot? And I said, let's go for it. Myself, Martin Wood, and our production designer, James Robbins, got together and boarded out the sequence, looked at the beats we wanted to hit all the way through. We have a bomb that goes off from the Daedalus through space, goes through the atmosphere towards the replicator planet. And, it's going to be really exciting.
always want the bigger and better shot, which always costs more money. And but you know, there's always lots of compromise, and you know, you can get away with not spending a huge amount of money, but still get an amazing shot.
Again, because these guys have been doing it for so long and they're so good at money management, as well as having our own in-house effects department that rivals any other vendor in town, you know, it really allows you to do those huge episodes.
There's always pride taken in, you know, doing the best you can, trying to raise the bar as best you can, you know, creating cooler, you know, more dynamic sequences, trying to, you know, one-up what's been done before, even by yourself. So you're always trying to one-up everyone, including yourself.